Three, go. Hi, everyone. My name's Gary Morgan, and I am the host of this Holistic Empire Summit. And we are unleashing your purpose, right? We're stepping into that prosperity. We are letting you create that profit that you always wanted. And it all starts within. We forget that we're always comparing ourselves or looking for someone else to save us and figure out where our next, shiny object's going to be. But that shiny object is right inside. So we want women all around the world to understand this process. And I have amazing women here to show you exactly how to step into your power. So today I have EJ Love from Australia. She is coming here to teach you all about self-love, self-acceptance, and self-worth. I'm going to let EJ go a little bit deeper into what she does for women and couples worldwide. Go ahead, take it away.
Thank you, Kerry. I'm super excited to actually be here. And yes, what I do is really empower men, women, and couples in love, intimacy, sex. And of course, all that comes down to is first loving yourself and really stepping into your self-worth. So I do things like sexual healing sessions, relationship coaching, and love coaching and sex coaching as well. So anything in those realms is really my area, and I also do online programs and workshops within that.
Great. So what is the one word that you would say best describes you as a female entrepreneur? So if someone left your present, they would just think of that word because you want that energy radiating from, after you have talked to somebody or talked to a new client.
Yeah, I would use the word vibrant. Okay, so it's that energy of someone goes, oh, I want a bit of what she's having.
Yeah,
And
right?
yeah.
That is amazing. I love that because we forget that words are so powerful. And when we connect with a word's energy, that really does radiate into our energetic field, but it also lifts us up to this level of being, that's why people, when you see somebody, you're like, oh my God, what are they doing, right? So can you really share what your unique gift is with the world so that they understand exactly what that self-worth looks like? And how you can get it.
Yeah, sure. So I believe that self-worth has a direct connection to shame. So a lot of my work and my gift is really about helping people discover what are the things that they feel most ashamed about, and particularly around sex and in relationship and allowing them to be okay to share that, to feel safe to share that. And that's when we heal shame, is when we allow ourselves to be open and have someone drop into that empathy and go, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not bad. You're human. And so one of my unique gifts is really holding that space and showing people how they can step into that self-worth through healing shame. So that's really something that I feel really passionate about, and helping people to understand the power of that, and when they really step into just really owning and loving those parts of themselves that they think are unlovable, that is when they ultimately can have everything they want because they feel deserving of it.
Yeah, so it definitely does start on the inside and you really feeling you deserve that. And that goes right into how long have you been in business, but how has your past aligned you in your current business right now?
Yeah, sure. So I've been doing my own business for about 7 years, but that's shifted and changed over time, as I'm sure many women would probably resonate to, is the more you learn and evolve, the more that you grow into your business, and that can shift and change. So I started off actually working in a gym and running my own dance classes, which is, always something sexy and dancey and,
Yeah.
and creative. So I knew that was on the creative path, was definitely for me, coming from a corporate background and working in law firms and accounting firms, and then moving into working in a marketing company. And when I worked in marketing, it was really allowing my juices to flow, and also did some business coaching and things like that. And I was like, wow, this is really exciting. And I actually worked for a business coaching company when I was 21, and I would run their seminars and as an assistant business coach. But I wasn't doing the speaking back then. But I would look at the speaker and go, yeah, That's what I want to do. I want to be a speaker. I have no
Yeah.
idea what I'm going to talk about. And I didn't certainly think it would be, love and sex, although my last name really is Love. So I guess I was kind of born. I was kind of born to do this work, which is awesome. So
That
thanks
is
to my
awesome.
parents. So yeah, probably about 4 or 5 years ago that I really started to learn more around started love and relationships through my own experience, but also sex as well. And then about 3 years ago, I really, really started to go into a bit of an awakening on myself, and started to learn things like Tantra, and going to just courses and workshops, and signing up for, for everything that I could, because I had mentors for everything. I had mentors for business, I had mentors for relationship. So I did, and I was committed to personal development. And so this is when I discovered, this is what I'm supposed to speak about. This is what I'm meant to teach. And so when you kind of awaken this, discover that in yourself, that's when you're on this. I was on this mission, and to make that happen. And then comes in the, okay, well, how do I succeed? How do I make this into a business that actually makes money, and makes money online? So yeah, it's been a pretty cool journey.
Yeah, that's good. Let's go into a little bit of that. Like, because I know tantrum is, probably didn't say that right, but that experience when you turn on your sexual energy definitely does elevate your process of self-worth, but also creating a business online. How did you pull those two together? Like pulling in clients and, letting people understand that you can create an online business and be a coach. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I was quite successful doing one-on-one sessions in person, but that wasn't that energetically, particularly with Tantra, it's pretty full on. And even energetically in any sort of business, when you're seeing clients one-on-one, wow, it can be pretty full on. And it's like, well, how do I leverage my time if I want to? I love traveling, so
Mm.
I live that laptop lifestyle that and I'm location free. So I was like, well, how do I make it so that I don't have to always be seeing clients one-on-one, or how do I move more into an online space where I can do more coaching? Because I was doing a lot of Tantra sessions and in-person sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, I had to make the decision that what I wanted to do, and how does that look for me? And I really did a lot of mindset around money, and I did a mindset around um, making money online, because I was so used to having money come in on person. It was like, well, my brain is not even like going, well, can I even make money online? So I had to
Right? That
start.
space.
Yeah. So it's similar to what I teach about orgasm. Once you wired yourself for a certain type of orgasm, you have to rewire your body, your neural pathways, to rewire a different way of receiving. And so it's actually, sex is really connected with money, and
Yes.
yeah. So I had to rewire my brain for a different way to receive money. And so that was doing things like tapping, EFT, and a lot of journaling, mindset work, which a lot of the top mindset coaches, and you would teach us as well, is really around the power of mindset. So that was a huge shift for me, and so that allowed me to really, and I'd already done one online program, which really was floundering around, like, I'm just going to do this program, and I did it really cheap, so it totally didn't value me, and it wasn't that successful. I mean, amazing program, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, this is such an amazing program. Everyone needs to do this. But, the people weren't coming, and I wasn't charging enough. And so I ended up doing another program. And when I'd done the mindset work, and I'd built the connections, and I'd used Facebook massively. Like, Facebook is where most of my online clients come from. And now, I can just do a live stream, or do a post, and automatically I've got people reaching out to me, and just jump on Skype and have a chat, and we go from there, whether I can help them in that time, or they jump on a program or a workshop, whatever it is. But I know that's there. It's quite easy for me now. But yeah, so it was really so the other program I did after that, after doing all that, was, you know, really, really successful. So, and I also used affiliates as well. So I had other people that came on and guest experts and things like that, which was amazing as well. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that is so empowering. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. Just because, like affiliates is huge, right? A lot of people don't know that process of having a JV partner or someone else that helps you promote your course so that you get more exposure and they get a percentage. It's like profit without a product, right? They are offering you support and also getting your name out there. So, what is one key ingredient that you've seen the best results in from your clients at the fastest time? So, maybe they came back to you like, oh my gosh, this totally shifted me. You can just like do an example without a name, or maybe, someone recently gave you a testimonial and they were like, oh my God, this helped me so much. So, yeah, can you go a little bit deeper into an example? Or like the
Sure.
worth, yeah, like the self-worth part of it, right?
Yeah, so there's so many things. One of the things that I really was a massive for me and is around managing your emotions, particularly in relationship and recognizing when you're really, really in a story. So one of the things is around managing emotional triggers. Okay, so this is one of my
Okay.
biggest teachings. Yeah, and so um, and this really does tie in also with the self-worth as well, because we're so often in a story about how we're not good enough. And so one of the practices I teach is how to manage your emotional triggers and how to get yourself out of what the reptilian brain, which is built for survival. And that's when you're in like a massive story and you get really triggered, and you can tell, you either get scared, you go into fear, you get angry, frustrated, and you're in a story. It could be anything really, that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve it, that people don't respect you, or someone doesn't love you, or someone doesn't, whatever it is, like it's just a massive story that's taking you down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And then you self-sabotage and you procrastinate and you resist, and or you project onto other people, and it's just, yeah, it just doesn't serve you. And so then you want to stay, your ego kind of wants to stay in that story and about why you're not lovable. And so it's completely not real. It's just based on those past experiences. So this is a key teaching that I do. So, I've had people in relationships, and often when they've kind of come out of relationships, and we use this tool for them to basically be able to manage their emotions and to really heal themselves and recognize all the stories they've been in their whole life and all the patterning, like in their relationships, why they keep attracting the same relationship over and over and over. And they're just like, oh my gosh, how did I not see all this before?
Right?
Yeah, and they can see why they've stayed in these relationships. And then the practice really allows us to go into the feelings, and then really simple. It's just, what are the needs that aren't being met, and it's just really helping people to identify what they need, and people really getting to understand that it's okay to want for themselves, and that's where it's directly connected to that self-worth. So yeah, so that's kind of where I find that my clients just have that biggest like aha moment, and they realize that they can use this practice every day. It takes a couple of minutes of that to go and really deeply heal themselves and their inner child, which is where all that wounding is coming from. So it's amazing practice. I love it.
Should they do that practice every day? Is that a daily practice? Or is it, like, is it something they do on their own, or do you help them with that? How do you keep them engaged so it completely almost releases, right? So that block doesn't come back.
Yeah, so when I do my sessions, I do take them through this practice where I'm guiding them into it, and then I'm using questions to help them really go deep and see where that's coming from and what the meanings that they've created. And then we do some sort of, self-empathy practice. So that would be something that I would do, over Skype or in person, that kind of session. And then I also well, basically, they can do it on their own, or they can, and something that I encourage them to do whenever they feel a little bit triggered, when they're starting to feel like they'll know in their body, you know, the temperature rises, or they start to just get a little bit
Yeah.
like, really good fun to practice if you've got road rage going on.
Yeah. We've all been there.
You know, oh, that person, and the story is that, you know, that someone doesn't respect you, or, you know, someone's a terrible driver, whatever it is. And yeah, so it's something that I encourage people to do whenever they feel something coming up for them, or when they kind of know they're in a bit of a story, and then they can use it as a really beautiful healing practice. And the more they do it, the less triggered they become. Like, stuff just doesn't start to, oh, that used to bother me before. Now that it doesn't even bother me. And when it does bother you, you're like, okay, this is a great opportunity to use this practice. So, yeah.
That is awesome. That is incredible. So I know we've all been there. And I notice within myself that when I find myself doing little stupid things, that my energy is slipping, right? Or I could feel myself going out of alignment, right? I could feel myself like, I'm not a big sweet person, but I'll find myself going for this random cookie. You know what I mean? Just because I don't like even want it. I just go and get it. Or that road rage, like you said. It's not the fact that I'll induce road rage, but I'll just get triggered by someone, the way they drive, right? But I don't know their situation. I don't know what's going on, but I'll turn into this person. I'm like, I thought that person was gone, like, who are you? Like, where'd you come from? But that takes us right into, how do you master your 24 hours as a female entrepreneur? What are some key alignments that you use in your business to keep you focused?
Yeah, so one key thing is to really making sure that I am not just doing the whole masculine doing thing, and consistently being in the energy, because that doesn't allow for balance. But using my masculine energy to kind of direct the day, and then
Yes.
be in my feminine flow, allowing that to get to. So it's like my masculine energy is holding me to, that will write the to-do lists, and where the feminine might be like the writing, and maybe I'll stop every now and then to have a bit of a dance to lift my energy or get in my body. So I always start with a bit of a morning ritual, and that can take an hour sometimes. Whatever, you generally like to allow a bit of time, an hour to 2 hours. I like to get up nice and early, so I'm usually up at 5:36 to make sure that I'm have that time in the morning where I'm not going to be disturbed. And things like meditation. I also make sure that I'm doing some sexual healing practice, so that might be a breath work or conscious self-pleasure, because that really gets me in my body and supercharges my energy for the day. So that's a really awesome practice to do, because again, working with that sexual energy to raise your energy, to higher your vibration, when then makes you more magnetic, and it all really ties in. So I know that sometimes we leave that on the back burner a lot. Obviously in my business, it's I kind of have to, because I have to be an
Yeah.
integrity with that. But yeah, but we don't prioritize it. We don't make it important, but it really is so powerful. Our sexual energy is our life force energy, so it really helps us to get the things done, but with flow and ease and grace, and allow things to be drawn to us. So yeah, so doing that practice, I do like to do sometimes emotional release work. So that just might be me jumping up and down, or
Oh, okay.
stuff like that, because that and that's something I encourage, with that other practice that I talked about before, the emotional triggers practice, is to allow yourself to feel all your emotions. So I like to plan out my day just to see what I do have on, what are the to-dos, and to schedule it out. And my day can be very changeable. So, I can have clients that call me and want to see me now, and I try to, obviously that's not going to always be available, but sometimes that might happen from time to time, and I'm kind of used to that now. So, but I used to not be able to say no, and so now I've really learned, okay, if this is not honoring, because that's a real, I used to not say no because it came from that scarcity, or what if I don't see them now, they might not book in later, or
Yeah.
yeah, but I had to really honor. So throughout the day, it's really important for me to check in and make sure, what do I need? What do I need? Do I need to have a break? Do I need to go for a walk? Do I need to have a bit of a dance? Um, do I need to, schedule a bit more, check in with my to-dos or get this done, or, because it's really important that we don't overrun ourselves, overwork ourselves, especially, when we love our business so much and it's not really work, which I do because I can work all sorts of hours, which I don't know if it really seems
Yeah.
like work, right? But sometimes it is important to make sure that I'm keeping myself in balance. So I do, I'm quite close to the beach here, and so I might pop to the beach every so often and just checking in with that. So I have my sessions, and then I'll have my Skype sessions, and sometimes I might be going to a workshop or might be doing an summit interview.
Yeah.
um, which I love because speaking is one of my main things that I'm passionate about. So yeah, so it's about having that balance and allowing time for myself and not entrusting that keeps me in flow and abundant as well, rather than knowing that I have to do to make money. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Make a relationship with money, right? So when it comes down to it, it's more of a relationship, but a positive relationship. Let the money like flow to you instead of chasing it or making money a bad thing, which is a lot of, what we have that mindset of because maybe our parents were in that field of energy, or, our relationship was in that energy, or our husband's in that energy, but learning from yourself is really uplifting to hear that, to learn how to magnetize your own energy with the self-love, with starting with yourself and your sexual energy first, right? Because you always hear the journaling, but you never hear the self-love, which I love that. I totally love that. So let's go into maybe like, what if one day like shit hits the fan and you got all these things are going chaotic? How do you come back into your balance? How do you come back into your mindfulness? What is like a trigger, or what is something that you have to say, okay, this is what I need to do? Like, how do you connect again?
Yeah, well, the first thing is that's probably when I'm in a story.
Yeah.
I'm probably in in that survival. Okay. And so the first thing I want to do is breathe, is just because breathing is, we're telling our brain, because when we're a survival, our reptilian brain is like, I'm going to die, basically. Am I going to die? And so breathing is the first thing, stopping, taking a few slow breaths and really just coming back into myself through that, and then I can check in. Okay, what do I need right now? What is it that I need? And checking in with my feelings. What are these feelings? Am I feeling frustrated? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Am I feeling angry? Am I feeling like I have to do everything? Am I in a story that I have to do everything myself? And really just slowing down is key. And then using my own practice, basically the emotional triggers practice, and going into that. And even if it takes just 5 minutes, I'll get to really see what is it that I need right now, and identifying whether it is to go and release some pent up emotions because I'm so frustrated and everything's going so crazy, or maybe it is that I need to go to the beach, or maybe I need to go outside and just ground myself on the earth. So it's really just connecting to what do I need in this moment. And I find it, sometimes it is difficult because we're so used to being, particularly women in this day and age, we're so used to it being masculine doing to achieve, that it's like, I can't even take 5 minutes to check in with what I need. No, I just have to get this done, which is very much coming from that corporate space. It's kind of like, no, I'm on a deadline, I have to get this done. But knowing what I know now, it's like, no, it's really more important to stop and, and connect to what I need, because otherwise I'm not going to be in a really good space for my clients. I'm not going to be in a good space to get what I need.
Yeah.
Not going to be coming. It's going to be coming from survival, not from, passion. So the heart. So
Wouldn't
yeah.
this be great if so many, we've learned this since we were little, right? Like we go through this legal process, and it's like, I would tell people, or some of my clients, and also people, I said, what if your mom would say to you every day, yes, you can? Like what if that was the mantra you heard when you woke up? You know what I mean? And not saying, oh, you can't do that. Oh, don't touch this. Or, because as a child, it's always don't touch, don't listen to your mom. You know what I mean? It's all those commands of, not being in your power, right? More letting your power to somebody else, or you can't talk or you can't speak. And so, just changing that process. But we're going to go deeper. And brings me into, what if someone always told you, yes, you can? What would be your big vision that you would want to create? Like, what is your ultimate performance, your lifespan, your legacy for worldwide expansion? What does that look like for you in your business as an entrepreneur?
Sure. So for me, one of my, my biggest dream is just to travel the world speaking and, impacting people and talking and sharing from a really, a space that is all about helping people to really connect to the love that they are and to pleasure as well. So which actually is interesting because, imagine if as kids, when it came to feeling pleasure, we were told, yes, you can. And so I love that, by the way. Can I say that, you know, that again is connected to not feeling okay to want for ourselves, not feeling okay to receive and feel pleasure. So for me, I feel like I'm very passionate about wanting people to understand the power of sexual healing and how connected it is to our self-worth and healing sexual shame. But what I'm also really passionate about is how that works in relationship and really how we can have that deeply loving, sensual, sexy, intimate relationship where we're honoured and respected and loved and valued. And it all starts with self. So we've got to love and honour, respect and value ourselves to ultimately be able to have that in relationship with, romantic relationship, work relationship, any sort of relationship. So I feel like I want people to know that they can have that, but they've got to choose, they've got to choose to step into that and feel absolutely worthy of it. So otherwise we'll go into sabotage and survival.
Yes.
Yeah, and just that healing of shame. So I feel like, shame is the lowest vibration after death. So that's that, that's that.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So if we heal our shame, then we have the power, we have so much power. And so if, as children we weren't told that we're bad, wrong or naughty, then we really step into that sense of self-worth and being able to have everything that we desire without feeling bad about it. So yeah, that's kind of like the legacy for me, is to really healing that not good enough, healing that shame and stepping into the love.
Yeah,
That
because you mentioned, I think before, or you said that sexual healing revolution, right? That would be you speaking all over the place and really connecting and like letting people understand they belong. And that is huge. And earlier I just talking about the opinions of other people and how that affects us, but also how that affects our vibration, right? And so what I did was, vibration is kind of like you're at level 500, and say it's your credit score. So if you go below and you're in the negative, you can't get a car, you can't have opportunities show up. And that's the same thing with, you use, negative words, you're in that lower vibration, you're overwhelmed, it's just not happening. When your vibration's higher and you're in that prosperity and that, purpose, and you're finding your love and you're in that self-worth, it's like, when your credit score is higher, you can go and get that car, and you can have those opportunities. But people need to place it with something that exists in their life, because they don't know what vibration is, right? They don't understand that unless you've been on a sexual journey also, maybe, or a
yeah,
spiritual journey, right? That lifts your vibration. But that leads us right into, um, define spiritual alignment and what that looks like in your eyes, so that people can understand the process of, being in alignment, but being on that level, that energetic level, that higher level. And it's all from within.
yeah. So for me, that's really about getting connected to that heart space and just valuing that as well. So that's kind of back to what I said before about, we so value the masculine way of being and the doing, achieving. But what if we could just value ourselves as just being? And so for me, it is really checking in with myself and doing those little things that help me feel connected to my heart space. And so I think it's that choosing in every moment is like, am I doing this from my heart, or am I doing this from ego? Am I wanting this? Am I trying to get a need met in an sort of unhealthy way, or is this, and most people don't uh, really know what that is sometimes. So sometimes I question myself consistently. Where is this coming from? Am I choosing this from my heart, or am I wanting to be? Is it a need to be loved, to be seen, to be noticed? Which is great, fine to have those needs.
Yeah.
Choosing that, like, okay, is this what my heart wants, or is this, am I people pleasing? Am I doing this for something else? Am I doing this to meet these egoic needs? And that's fine. That's fine, but it's just like, where do I want to choose this from? And again, not making ourselves bad or wrong when we are going into the ego space, but just being in awareness, because I think it's okay sometimes when we choose these things, but it's just okay. And not because so not feeling bad about it when you may have chosen from that space is key. It's just having that self empathy and taking that time to do, that heart, connecting to your heart, finding more ways to do that. So that's, for me, is like just choosing between, knowing where you're making your choices from, and questioning yourself on that. That, for me, is how you sort of get into an alignment. Okay, where am I choosing? Am I choosing from heart? Am I choosing from ego? And where do I want to be? So
That is awesome. Thank you so much for that, because I'm glad you brought that up about the ego, and that's what the masculine, but not also, it's just like what the world is showing us, right? The ego lifestyle. But we can also create, everything we want from within with choosing self-love and that self-worth and that self-acceptance. So, but let's go on the good side of like technology, because I know a lot of people are like I met you through technology, and I've met a lot of the other speakers through technology, but how has technology grown your business today? Because like, I'm from the old school. Like I literally used to have a beeper, and like if someone called me, I had to go and like find a payphone and like put that change in and dial that number. But nowadays everything's like crazy, so easy for you to grow your business. And that's what I want women to understand. You can grow your business from, like you said, the remote living. So let's go a little bit on how that really has changed your business and made you feel more empowered.
I love technology.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, so as I said before, I travel quite a bit. I spend a lot of time in Bali, and I love it there. And because I'm a writer as well, so it's my time to sort of zone in and write. But the beauty of it is that, as I said before, I can post something up, and because I'm a writer, I love expressing myself, and I'll just have things pop into my head, and then I'll just post it on Facebook, and someone will be like, oh, that resonates for me, and they'll reach out to me. And it's so cool that I get to express myself so easily, and that it might change something in someone's life, and to just be able to be on all these different platforms, reaching people anywhere in the world. So I mean, in the last sort of few weeks, I've done Skype sessions with, the US, with UK, with Spain, all sorts of areas. I had people
It's
from all over
awesome.
Europe on my programs, New Zealand, obviously here in Australia. And it's just so cool because I'm so not limited to reaching people just in person. And so it's really been amazing. I mean, as I said before, Facebook has been just so really great space to get out what I want to express and share, and reach people. Because I have people that I don't know how I found you, but and I have clients. I'm like, so how did you find me? And they're like, I actually have no idea, but I think you just popped up on a feed or in a group. Or honestly, I'm the same with my mentors. I mean, a lot of them, I'm like, I don't know. You just came up somewhere. So that's really cool because who knows? Who knows?
I
And then
think, yeah, I think Facebook has this higher power, right? Because I'm telling you, like, when you're ready, it comes for you. You know what I mean? Like, stuff pops up. Like, when you have that, like, that voice inside, and then that story or that person comes into your life, right? Like you said, you have found mentors when you were like, how did I find why? Because you were subconsciously probably thinking that, and then it pops in. That is huge. But I definitely think Facebook has some higher power thing that they do because stuff has showed up for me and I'm laughing. But that is awesome. I love that. Um, and we are going to go, we're almost down to the last two. So, how has alignment helped you with creating and sustaining abundance and wealth? Because, sometimes people receive it, but they lose it just as fast, right? Or they receive that good feeling and then they stop doing the work, right? So what does that look like for you, in your business or as a woman, with your sexual energy and your self-worth and can you explain or go into little details for us, please?
Yeah, sure. So I used to really have that pattern of making a lot of money and then giving it away. And I'm like, what do
Yeah.
I have to show for it? Like, what happened to all this money I made? And although I'm very big on putting money into my education and personal development consistently, so
Yeah.
it's one of my very high value of mine. So I'm always and that for me that is an investment in myself, even though and I might not have a lot of those material items. Plus, I travel a lot, so that's a big value of mine. So um, I think for me was the idea of having and spending it on myself. Okay, um, so for me, it really is, and I've had a bit of a shift this year. It's just really this year around the money mindset, and also that connecting to becoming more high vibrational, using sexual healing to do that. And because when you're more high vibrational, like that score, your score goes up.
Yes,
Uh,
right. Boop,
can go
boop.
up. And yeah, and you're able to really attract and keep more. So for me, it really is keeping up those practices and that money mindset really helps me to keep abundant. And it's sometimes whenever I know that I'm sort of getting to, um, maybe I am getting a bit slack, or I have, I'm not doing journaling, things like that, then I'll notice how it is affecting that, and I'll get back into it and start journaling about that, and to really start, and then I'll be like, okay, right, I have to do some more content, or I have to, I have to do a post, or I have to do a live stream, and I mean, I've never ending creative ideas around that. So that's, but it's more, taking the action is really key. It's like you've got to take the action, and maybe if there's resistance, I have to journal a little bit about that. So yeah, but that is definitely, it's so nice to know that, um, you know, the old way of being is like working hard and getting things out there and doing this and then, and that was like the old way. For me, that was the old way of doing things, like time for money. Now it's like, oh, I say to my friends, I was like, oh, I want to create this and this, and I'll go, I'll just do some mindset around it, it'll be fine.
Right? Yeah, but
Journaling, sweet. So it's not about like, well, I have to do this, and then I'll do this, and then I'll wait for this, and then this, and then and it's like I'll just mindset around it, sweet. It'll be fine.
and that's great because that's more or less too, it's like stepping into your power too, right? Well, you're in your confidence more, right? Because then you're like, you know what? Let me shake that off, right? It was just like a little bug, like kind of getting back in there, and you're kind of like back into your confidence of like what you want to be, and you're like, I got this. You know what I mean? When like you hear that little sound telling you, well, what are you gonna do? And you're like, oh, I got this. So that's great. I love that concept. That's awesome. And we're down to our last question. So the this is called the golden nugget time, right? So like leave us with some golden nuggets. So maybe it would be like something, if somebody you met out and they just were talking and you gave them this golden nugget and they were like, next thing you know, they're your biggest client, right? Because they're like, oh my god, this changed my life. So some simple action step, maybe with around sexual healing. Let's go into that because we only tapped a little bit into that, but I'll let you, I know that's your specialty.
Yeah, awesome. I'm glad you asked. Yeah, so one thing and I've talked a little bit about this shame stuff before, is um, just that working with our sexual energy that's our life force energy. So we're born from sex, and most of us, it's quite blocked. So if we're not accessing it, we're making things really hard for ourselves. But when we do access it, it's so powerful to heal and to heal shame, that when we start accessing it, that we use it to channel into the rest of our life. So things become a lot easier and we become a lot more magnetic. Again, it's to do with that, really having that higher vibration in our lives, becoming more attractive. And you know someone that is sort of, you may not know where that they're accessing it, but you will feel just really drawn to them and you'll be like, oh, that person has something about them. And I just feel like their energy is amazing. And so it's being at that high vibration. And so when we use our sexual energy, we have the ability to heal ourselves on a really, really profoundly deep level, because we do access those parts of ourselves that have become dormant and have are connected to the shame. So, and it can be quite, at first it can be a little bit vulnerable to do that, but vulnerability is something is really connected to shame, because it helps us heal our shame, creates more connection. So the more we choose to be vulnerable, the more connection that we can have in our lives. And ultimately this is where it's at, connection, the belonging, the fitting in, and it all starts with healing that shame. So, and stepping into our light, just to even step into our business and be seen, that is massive. So connecting to that part of ourselves, and I have a lot of practices that do that, and it just starts with an intention to wanting to access that, and using things like conscious breath work and conscious self-pleasure, and taking it out goal as well, because it's like almost like the way we're connected to our sexual energy is reflects to our outer life. It can be
Yeah.
yeah. So if we're in that masculine way of being, of reaching goal, reaching orgasm, then that's very masculine. But if we're in that way of just being in the moment and having, being orgasmic throughout the experience, well, can't we just be orgasmic throughout our life? Can't we just be in flow and feeling joy and
Yeah.
pleasure throughout our whole life, without necessarily having to have this, oh, when I reach this and when I reach that. So when you access that, it's just so powerful. So yeah.
Is it hard for people to let go of their go, go, go so they could find that sense of ease? You know what I mean? And really enjoy themselves.
Yes, it tends to be.
Right,
I
because
know.
when something's dormant, like it takes a while for it to actually wake back up,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? It's like your dog, you're trying to get him out because you got to go somewhere, and he's laying there looking at you like, I just woke up, give me a chance, right? You know what I mean? To move. But yeah, go ahead. I'll let you explain that.
Yeah, surrender is the word I'm loving at the moment, because it is about surrender and trust. And we're in a world that is untrusting and doesn't even understand the concept of surrender.
Yes. Right.
But when we do that, that really allows us to receive and, letting go of that control as well, because we all use control for a sense of safety, and we're in such a world that is all about being safe, and that fear that we're not safe and all that kind of stuff. So it can be hard, but it is that process of rewiring the neural pathways to the brain. And so I always suggest 21 days helps us, to doing a practice for 21 days that helps you to rewire is going to it is going to rewire. So, and this is one of the things that I teach, is to rewire your pleasure centers, so that you're not just trying to get that goal, that you're opening up to different types of orgasms, and again, feeling full body sensation, and yeah. So, and then
That is awesome.
puts you at the higher vibration, so you're having more high vibrational orgasms. So rather than, clitoral orgasm, for example, is really quite low vibration. I don't tell people not to have it completely, but to rewire for 21 days and focus on opening up your whole body. Again, more sexual healing, high vibrational, attracting more. It's amazing.
Oh my God, we can just talk forever, but well, okay, so Right now, we're at the end. Just let everyone know where they can connect you. What's the name of your new course, and like if you have it coming up or something like that. And
Yeah.
then we'll have all the links too for you. We have the link on the sales page. I mean, on the bio page that goes exactly to EJ. But yeah, if you want to just share with everyone exactly how they can find you.
Awesome, awesome. Well, since we've touched on the sexual healing stuff quite a bit, I do run a free 7-day sexual healing challenge. I have a group on Facebook called Soulful Sexual Woman. That's plural woman, EN.
Yeah.
And so this is a 7-day challenge, which really starts with basically everything that I've talked about. I could include quite a lot within that challenge, and to help you become really access your sexual energy, use it as a force for healing, pleasure, and abundance, and really getting you to start being more high vibrational. So that's an amazing challenge, and I do have a link with that, which I'll send to you to be able to share on here. Yeah, so Soulful Sexual Woman. And of course, if anyone wants to reach out to me, they can do through Facebook as well, EJ Love, or EJ Love Angel is my Facebook page. And I'm happy to do, just a quick Skype chat, because I know that sometimes talking about things like this can be a little bit hard to do over Facebook Messenger. Or so I love connecting with people all over the world. It really lights me up, and yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, AJ. I mean, EJ. I'm gonna call you AJ.
No worries.
EJ.
Call me all sorts of
EJ Love.
things.
I'll call you Love. I'll call you Love Angel, Angel Love,
Cool.
for being here. This is an honor for me to have you here. I love what you do, and so many women need to step into this power, right? This is the power, and this is the one that we cut off because we feel like we're not good enough, or that someone's hurt us in the past, and we're just like shameful. But it's hurting us by not being in that power, in that life force power, in that sexual energy power. So step into your power, women, and remember there's more global women here to share their message with you. So make sure you connect with the rest of this holistic empire summit, because it's about building this empire inside so that you can step into your power, into this physical world, and really own that energetic level of purpose, of prosperity and profit, so that you can become a almost like a light, right? A light that everyone is guided to, and also they're there to see you so that they can be inspired by what you do. So we're going to say bye. So I just wanted to say thanks everyone for being here with us today, and make sure you come back for the rest of the summit. So we are zooming out. Bye.
Bye.